You always talk about what real niggas do and all the other things that we say that keep ourselves locked into our own prisons, you know. Like I was talking about in the previous video, everything that's right is considered wrong. What's down is up. What's up is down, And, cycles are made to be broken. We say it's, when it's up, it's stuck, and we depend on the other person making the first move. Now, when it's life and death, I get it. You can't trust the other person to necessarily put the gun down or it's too much blood been shed. But at some point, the blood has to end. So, a big thing is we need to stop instigating. Every time somebody does something and we get on there, we instigate. We instigate and try to hold other people to levels of toughness that no one else actually lives by. We let influences get to us. What you gonna do? Nobody's, wants to lose a fight anymore because everybody's recording it. You can't even get shot anymore. And then we wonder why no one invests in the community. We have our own people who get rich and leave the community. Eventually, you have stores closing up. You have schools closing down because it's funnier to disrespect teachers. Some of our leaders, teachers, the good ones, disrespect them and record it for Instagram likes or Facebook likes or whatnot, and thinking it's cool, not realizing that, they are one part of a whole, that leads us to a better future. Now, I'm not talking about the little BS curriculum that they teach in schools, the indoctrination. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about learning how to conduct yourself, other things outside the curriculum that you learn in school. All right. We already know about how the welfare system was set up. We know how the jail system set up. We know how systems, period, are set up to our disadvantage. And not just black people. This is about rich and poor. We ain't the only communities that is happening to. This is about the haves and have-nots, rich and poor. You know what I mean? And, we seen what happened when the projects went down. But yet we continue to glorify those things which perpetuate that system and make it seems that system is necessary, because the first thing people on the outside are looking is these animals deserve it. Or they'll say they're doing it to themselves. Or like one scene in Rosewood when the place was burning, they say, we don't see any crime here. It's just a bunch of you people killing each other and tearing up your own communities or whatnot. See how we locked ourselves in? We imprisoned ourselves. We talk about the prison for our mind and all that, but we are literally locked into our own hell. How do we get out of it? Well, it's easy to say put the guns down. Somebody's got to start it. You can't count on the participating sides to necessarily do that. It takes people, elders from within the community to have that sit down, to bring those people, from those sides into that one place, a neutral ground that's forced to face each other, and have the parents of those children, from the children that were lost and the ones that are still here. Some of them may be sitting in the same room with the children who they think or may have done it or have something to do with it. How do you think it'll feel if those kids are facing the parents that, they were dissing the whoever got killed, and the parents saw that and they say, I remember your name on my son's account after he died. And you were saying this, how do you think that make me feel? You think a lot of them be looking those people in the eye? They be looking at the floor. You see, it's one thing to do things behind the screens. It's another thing to be up close and personal. Secondly, As we talk about the jobs and things like that, we have to reprioritize, what wealth is. It's not in the Gucci belts. It's not in the Amiri jeans, whatever you flash online or whatnot, because that just sets a standard for yourself that you have to maintain now. You may not always have that money to bet the money that you flashed. That was a come up, and you may not always have that to keep up with that. And so we judge each other by the wrong things. We shouldn't be judging anybody anyway. But if we're going to do it, at least for the right things, but looking at somebody and saying you broke, but, if we live in the same hood, who are we to talk? You know what I mean? Forget about what anybody else saying. When they say there's jobs out there, not every single job is going to pay $20-some an hour. They're out there. If you can get that, that's one thing. But any job, this is what goes back to reprioritizing, forget trying to be the most flashy. It's not that important. It used to be important to I'm sure when everybody was young, it was important. It's not that important once you get older. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not an entertainer or something like that and trying to maintain some kind of, image. And once you find out that stuff be rented, they whole wardrobe women, that's coming out of their budget. The jewelry and all that stuff. Most of that might not be theirs. They might have some real stuff that they keep, somewhere else, but that stuff be rented, Don't buy into these illusions, because you find yourself trying to live an illusion and you don't have that kind of budget. You don't have a record label's budget. So we end up locked in, trying to live something that as you see now, with all the cases that's coming up, with all the murders that's coming up, that life, is nothing to emulate, no matter how glorious it may seem. That's why I'm glad we could still have people like Busta Rhymes and them around. You know what I mean? They've been in the game for I don't know how long. They had their little things here and there, but you think they'd be alive if they were just coming out now and carrying on the way that we carry, that a lot of entertainers carry on today? No. They'd be another statistic. You got to think longevity. We talk about grinding. Sometimes grinding is that 9 to 5. Whatever it is that keeps you out of that lifestyle that can possibly get you killed and you become another statistic. So the whole point of this is we go back and forth and nothing ever ends. I don't care what decade you can look up history, gang history, anything. It's always been the same. Just because someone sets the trap don't mean you have to trip it. You can go around it. The hardest part is to get each other to not step on that trap. Hey, watch out. Don't step on that. Yeah, I know we had our problems, but we got a bigger thing at risk now. But when you starving, all you can focus on is the next meal and how you going to get it. That's why I say, if there's work, take it, whatever it may be. That don't have to be your end all be all. That could be something towards something else. Stacking paper the long way. You know what I mean? Sometimes that road is hard, but it's a safer road and you can get to the end of that road. But first, you need a safe environment in order to do that. There's been people who had regular jobs, and then they get killed at their jobs. So I'm not looking past that. That's where that whole sit down thing come in at. The hard conversation has to be had. And all that is to say this, as we fight each other and we kill each other and we play into the systems that, are designed to do that, stop doing what the system wants you to do. The system is doing its job. The system is doing exactly what it's designed to do, because look where some of us are. Look how some of us are living. That's your system all around you. Every single board that goes up in a window, every single store that closes, every single school that closes, every single murder that happens, every arrest that happens, everything that channel or whatever it may be that shows, the gritty reality of the street. They're showing you that system. It's our job as individuals to think and get out of it. And eventually, we'll realize that the key to our own freedoms, was right around our noses the whole time. That's why I said that we are the change that we're looking for. We are the solution. We are the solution. We free ourselves. You can't look to the system that's designed to put you where you are to free you. We got the key. But we have to make the hard choices, make the hard call. Somebody's got to make the uncomfortable decision to stop. You see what I'm saying? We already know nobody's coming to save you like that. No politician, no president, no governor, no mayor. And I mean, even if you do get the good ones there, we still got to do our part. That's the thing. We can't just simply vote someone in, you know what I mean? And they're good and they official, they certified. And they trying to do something for the community. The community has to work back. Just like I was saying in the first video in part 1 about the, working with the law, the civilians. You know what I mean? It's all about community. The only way a community can rebuild itself is through community. It took a whole community, whether through, like I said, through complacency or active participation, to destroy that community. Regardless of the traps that's put in place, you remove the traps by not stepping in the traps. And like I said, we got the keys, y'all. We got the keys. That's all I had to get off my chest. I apologize for the delay. I put a post up, what was going on in a vague way. I'm not going to get into details, but it's what I had to get off my chest. Y'all stay blessed.